finalize that ticket, before you set that roster, you need the edge. Welcome to the 1 hour window that separates the winners from the losers. We're diving deep into the spreads, the over-unders, the value plays, and the sleepers you must start. Stop guessing and start winning. This is the Gridiron Gurus, providing the ultimate NFL advantage exclusively on the Empty the Bench Network.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Gridiron Gurus here today. Before we get into everything, I just want to remind everybody to follow us at youtube.com/ETP Network. And we've got some bombshells to drop today in the NFL world. And to be honest with you, a couple of them I did not expect, but we will get into those in a couple of minutes. Before we, let's get into one that was a little bit of a surprise for me. And I have to say, that one was Kyle Pitts being extended. I am not trying to get away from the fact that I don't think he's a good player. I think he's a good player. It's just he hasn't lived up to the hype of the 4th overall draft pick that he was 5 years ago or 4 years ago. But I mean, his extension is 3 years for $55 million, I believe. Let me look that up just to clarify, but I think that's right. Kyle Pitts. But I mean, I do understand why he got extended, because he's got a new coach, and the coach probably wants to keep him around for the near future. So it's a 3-year, $54 million contract that includes $36 million guaranteed. It is the largest 3-year contract for a tight end in NFL history. I do believe that he does deserve this. It's just, my thing is, you've got to produce. I mean, he hasn't necessarily been the type of player that you would want coming out of the 4th overall draft pick, but I mean, at least possibly in Kevin Stefanski's system, with him being an offensive-minded coach, he should be more successful. But we'll see. I mean, I was a little bit surprised by this. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Ben, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I think Pitts is a guy that I really liked for a while. The Patriots actually got an explorer, and he's a great overall player. I mean, he's extremely tall. I mean, that's obviously one thing. He has a great big body radius. I'm not surprised by this. I do think the Falcons really have been a team that hopefully can keep a lot of their talent around. You still have Bijan. You obviously have a quarterback competition between Tua and Michael Penix. And I
Which
think,
I don't think is a great competition,
yeah,
in my personal opinion. However, I mean, I don't like either of their choices, but I am going to give the edge to Tua just because he is at least practicing right now. I don't think Penix is at the point where he can practice, so that is probably helping Tua out. Sorry to interrupt you, Ben,
very
but
good.
go ahead.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing about Pitts is, he's a red zone threat, obviously because of his size. And
Mhm.
the thing about the Falcons is I think, Kevin Stefanski, in terms of the way that they kind of run a lot of their plays. It's a lot of vertical type of stuff. And, vertical obviously involves a lot of your tight end schemes. And of course, with Bijan, Bijan obviously he's really good on the outside and do a lot of outside zone. A lot of stuff that Stefanski, of course, loves to run is a lot of involved with tight ends. And if you're able to keep your tight end around, I think that's very good. I think that Stefanski and Kyle Pitts honestly probably had talks regarding in terms of potentially a new deal, because I think that Pitts probably still likes being there. And I think that he also talked about him being fully believed and kind of buying into what they're trying to do. And now with kind of that division kind of really being wide open, I think the Falcons are trying to go for the division, and it's better obviously to have this player at your realm than not. So I think it's really smart by them, because if he did leave, I think there'd be a lot of people right on the market for him.
Oh,
And,
absolutely. I agree with you.
yeah, he's a very he's a gadgety type of tight end. You're not able to see a lot of those type of tight ends he's a pretty good blocker, but he's really more made for the yards after catch. He's a tight end, but he kind of is more as he's more like a good receiver over the top in the middle of the field. So it's really awesome to have, and he's a very, very good player.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you're saying. What about you, Michael? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good deal for the Falcons personally. You can't lose a weapon like Pitts, because I was looking a little bit into it when you guys were talking, and the most receiving yards among tight ends over the last 5 seasons. Kelsey obviously had the 2 big seasons. Kittle, those are your 2, obviously. And then it's Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Trey McBride. Kyle Pitts is 4th in the last 5 years. So he's been in the league for 5 years. And he's 4th in tight end yards. Basically 3rd. He's basically 3rd, but I think it's just a great move for them. Kyle Pitts is that guy that has the potential to be one of the greatest tight ends. Do I think you draft a tight end in the top 5, let alone top 10? No. But my team did it, so I'm going to stick by the tight ends.
Right? Mm-hmm.
But no, this is a great deal. You can't lose a weapon like Kyle Pitts.
You shouldn't want to. No.
And he has been producing with Penix there. So and that's why I think when Penix is healthy, he will be the quarterback, not Tua. But
well, I don't necessarily think that Tua will be the quarterback for the whole year. I just think that he might start out as the quarterback because of the fact that Penix is still recovering from his injury. I don't remember what the injury is. Is it an ACL? Is it?
I think so.
Penix, yeah. A lot of the injuries that he's had, unfortunately, they have not been great injuries.
Right. Yeah. It's hard. But before we get into the next topic, Ben, why don't you do your table read so we don't forget to do
of course, guys. So, folks, the 120 people watching in, this read is presented from the Empty the Bench Network, and this, of course, is from one of the new shows here on the overall network, Empty the Pitch. The world has arrived for the 39-day global spectacle that is the FIFA World Cup. And ETB has you covered with the best coverage of the beautiful game as Callum McClure and Trevor Williams empty the pitch with in-depth coverage of the 2026 World Cup. Only on the Empty the Bench Network. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. join the fellas on Wednesday as the USA starts their knockout stage against Bosnia. I'm pretty sure. I forgot. Bolivia, Bosnia, one of those teams. I would like to get that right before we move on. So bear with me quickly here. Hold up, really quick. Wednesday, Bosnia. That's it. Bosnia. That's who US is playing. And so coverage will begin right after the final whistle. That will be 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific time in terms of our calendar is. So yeah, hope to see you guys then. And that's the read.
All right. Going into the next topic, this actually involves another tight end. Brandon Strange was extended. I want to say yesterday, or the day before. I can also look that up to clarify. Give me 1 second here. I do remember his deal though. His deal was 3 years for $48 million, which is still a great deal of money. But let me get his when his extension was. Right. Okay, so that was yesterday. That was yesterday. And his extension was 3 years, $48 million with $25 million guaranteed. If I'm being honest, I don't really know much about Brenton Strange, and oh my god, I spelled his name wrong. That's supposed to be T, not D. That's my bad. But I can look up his stats to
I have them right here.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michael.
His career stats. He has 91 receptions, 986 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Well, isn't Strange more of a blocking tight end?
Yeah.
Okay, well
and the Jags don't really use a tight end.
Yeah, right. I mean, they have. Well, now they decided to use Travis Hunter more as a cornerback, not a receiver.
Yeah.
But I mean, there'll still be some plays in there that he'll play receiver, but not as much as last year. Which after his injury makes sense. But anyway, back to this. I don't think that's that bad of a deal for a tight end to his caliber. I mean, I will admit, $48 million for a blocking tight end is a lot. But I mean, only half of it is guaranteed, so he has to work for the rest of it. And sometimes players get injured because of things that happen. But with him being a backup, I don't necessarily see him getting hurt that much, especially if they don't use a tight end. But hey, I'm just gonna come and say it. If I had $48 million, I would love to have it. I don't know what I'd do with $48 million. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Michael, why don't you go first, and then I'll go to Ben.
I think this is a lot, personally. I think it's too much for a blocking tight end. That's not really going to produce.
Sure.
Just, I mean, 48 million for him when you could get Pitts for 55 or 54.
That is fair.
I don't think it's. I mean, it just scares me with like this type of money because like, and also you got to think Komet's probably going to be gone from the Bears, so you got another tight end in the market next year.
Fair.
I hope not, but I wonder what he's going to get because he should get more than Brenton Strange, and that just worries me with some of these young tight ends. Like, what are they going to get because of this contract?
And for example, you mentioned Cole Kmet, when he signed his extension with the Bears, 2 or 3 years ago, it was for 4 years for $50 million. I mean, it's longer, but it's not much more money than what Strange is making. I mean,
No, it's less money technically.
yeah, because
Year-wise.
3 years, $48 million averages out to $16 million. And when Cole Kmet signed his extension with the Bears, that averages out to 12 and a half.
Yeah.
I
gotta look at all the tight ends. Like, I'm gonna look up like
who's
what
going to be available?
other tight ends are. No, what other tight ends are making, and then Ben, you can go on this one.
Yeah, Ben, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his overall stats. It is kind of a strange deal that they put in, no pun intended. Yeah. For a guy that, like you guys mentioned, like he's only been in the league for 3 years, and maybe the Jags, I guess, just see more of the potential because he has gotten better from 2023 to 2025. He's only been in the league for 3 seasons, but every single season he's progressed. So in 2023, he only had 1 touchdown. 24, he had 2. 25, he had 3. And the averages per catch, 23, he had 7 yards per catch. 24, 10.3. 25, 11.7. So
well, that I have to say that is a big jump from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, so basically about 4 yards added from 23 to 25. So I guess maybe it's just kind of like, you have Brian Thomas Jr., you have some other pieces, and the Jags probably see it as a way of like, yeah, maybe we see this guy kind of as a younger guy that, maybe we like this potential value here. And we want to get him. We want to get him now, and sometimes in this league, you got to overpay. So sometimes the overpay. Sometimes I mean, you look at guys like obviously AJ was more of a trade, but like a lot of the times, if you want to get somebody, you got to overpay for it. A lot of the
Oh,
time.
absolutely. I mean, it happens all the time in free agency. I mean, I know that this isn't necessarily talking about free agency, but still, there are guys that produce mediocre, well, not mediocre, but like middle of the road stats and get signed for $75 to $100 million because the team needs that certain position and they want to get a player at that position. Like, for example, when we did our free agency show, Adafe Owe was one of the guys that got way overpaid for his production. I mean, and that was just a huge shock to me and Michael because he was paid for 4 years, $100 million for a guy that had like, I want to say like 4 sacks last year.
So I just looked it up. Brenton Strange is the 4th highest paid tight end in the league.
Kelsey is ahead of him. Kittle's ahead of him.
Kittle, McBride, and Pitts. That's it.
I don't think he should be in that company.
I'm looking at the Jags depth chart right now, and yes, you do lose Etienne at running back. You have BTJ, you got Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington as your 3 starting wideouts. So the tight end, the Jags are probably like, okay, let's just get him locked up because they have something kind of going there. I think it was kind of more of the nuclear core that they wanted, kind of more than the actual like potential. I mean,
Sure.
I think the potential is there, but they're like, we got something that we have here for a while. The Jags were a really good team last year. At least all things considered, at least very strong team to get into the playoffs and to be pretty much right at the brink of being in Buffalo. I mean, they were right there last year. So I guess they're like, yeah, I mean, because the second, guy, Nate Borkacher and Tanner Kozel are the other 2 tight ends. Nothing really right home about. So like, all right.
One of them was drafted this past year, right? Draft, right?
Yeah, Borkacher's from the A&M tight end. He was, Well, I don't see any stats from him as the backup, so he must have gotten drafted. Yeah, 2 guys that have literally no stats. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, Michael said it. They don't really use a tight end, so that's not
No.
really a big
That's
deal.
why I think paying him the 4th highest tight end is
Stupid.
overpay. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you guys. I mean, blocking tight end at most should get a contract that's like 10, maybe $15 million.
Yeah.
At that,
Well,
even
I
at
mean,
that
you got
point,
16. So I don't know. I think it's
no,
just
I mean in total. I mean in total. Like,
in total. Blocking tight end should get about half of what he got.
so 20-ish,
Yeah.
25.
20 to 25, I think it's a good deal. I know half of it's guaranteed and he's got to work for the other half. So, I mean, that's a good part about the deal.
Mhm.
That's like the only good thing I could see for the Jags, but he's got to prove it. He's got to prove that he could be like that guy. I know that's not his fault. They don't use him like that, but
Mhm.
maybe they should. If you're going to pay him basically 16 million a year.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. But going into the next thing, Michael and Ben talked about this last week, and we're just going to talk about it. Well, not this specifically, but we talked about this person last week. But Brendan Sorsby has been denied the ability to play in the NFL this year. And also a report came out, I think today, that also said he couldn't play in the CFL. But so occasionally the NFL holds a supplementary draft or something. What's the name? What's the name of it?
Supplementary, yep.
Yep.
And what that basically is NFL teams, if they really like a player, they can draft them in that draft, but whatever draft pick they use in that draft, they will not have the next year in the NFL draft, the actual NFL draft. And I don't really think there's a team that's that desperate for a probably middle of the road quarterback, maybe backup. So he has been denied to play in the NFL this year. He can enter the NFL draft next year. He has also been denied the ability to play in the CFL, I believe. I don't really know where he would fit in any NFL team, to be honest with you. Besides maybe a practice squad player. I haven't looked at his stats or anything like that. I don't think he's a great quarterback. But you guys talked about this or talked about him last week, so you guys know more than me. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's the right move. He's a college athlete, betted on games. Shouldn't be doing that as a college athlete. That's against the rules.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that regardless, even if you're whether you're a college athlete, an actual NFL athlete, or just any athlete.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right in general to do it. But I think the NFL pretty much really put it to him early. This was from. They have a full-on thing from Schefter. I'm not going to read the full thing, but they just reported today. Speaking of Sorsby, that the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League, is not even going to let him in. So most of the leagues are putting their foot down on him. Let me try to go back here and see if I can find this here. Let's see. You guys can go. Mike can go if there's anything else.
I mean, he shouldn't be playing. This is good. I mean, it's the right right move. We said last week for if he was in the supplementary draft, like we wouldn't put more than a 7th round pick in because you draft for picks. So like I wouldn't give him a seventh, like more than a 7th round pick
Yeah.
for him.
Fair.
And that's only for like the teams that actually like desperately need a backup or
Need a
something.
backup.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even a third string. Like he's not ready for the NFL. So I mean
It doesn't
it's a
matter
good
now.
thing there. It's a good yeah, exactly. It's a good thing he's what's it called?
He's not
Not
eligible.
not
Banned.
being able to
Banned.
play. Yeah, basically banned.
And
So
for the year.
yeah.
Going into our next topic, because I think we don't really know what else to say here. I think we have to talk about this first. So Terrion Arnold, who is a cornerback for the Detroit Lions, may face life in prison. He was convicted for armed robbery and kidnapping, which you can face up to life in prison in for those things. And there is a story on that also from Schefter. But like I can't believe that there are some athletes out there that go to college to play football and then get to the league and turn into a terrible person. I mean, that I'm going to mention a couple of names that face time in prison for certain things. Michael Vick, he did it for participating in a dog fighting thing. He's faced 2 years in prison. Ray Lewis, he killed someone and and got time in prison. However, he came back and played after both of them did. But if you could face life in prison, I think you should be banned from the NFL. I'm sorry. I can't believe I have to say this, but for if any athlete listens to this, and when I say athlete, I mean like athlete in the NFL, which probably won't happen, but I'm just gonna say it. Just because you have money doesn't mean you can silence people. It's not. You can't buy people off. It's not a good look. And I mean this is one of the worst things that I've seen for this. I mean, because Terrion Arnold is a good player, but he is ruining his career because he did something stupid. Which, I mean, I get that NFL players have money, but again, no money can buy silence. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, it just doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are. When you make one little mishap when you're an athlete, it could be bad. And Arnold was a guy that I think was a big part of what the Lions were doing last year, or what he was going to be. He's from Alabama. He had 8 pass deflections, 23 solo tackles. And yeah, for facing, felony charging for armed robbery and kidnapping, you're not going to be playing again, probably again, when you have multiple things like that. So it's a public image that's not good. Athletes are stupid. A lot of them are stupid. They do a lot of stupid shit. No stuff like off the field, and yeah, it's a bad one.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Right for him to not play because it's not good.
I'd be very surprised if we see Terrion Arnold in a Lions uniform this year, at least. What about you, Michael?
You know what the NFL's going to do with this if he doesn't actually go to prison?
Slap on the wrist.
Slap on the wrist.
Mhm.
But if he was gambling, he'd be suspended for a whole year. So I think this prison stuff, like, then this goes back to Sorensby. This goes back to like Ridley when he got suspended for a whole year. Why is gambling a bigger suspension than people going to jail? I will never understand this. Because gambling is not illegal. Gambling is not an illegal activity. Going to prison, you broke the law.
Mhm.
Gambling, you're not breaking the law. Yes, for sport, if you're an NFL player, any athlete, you shouldn't gamble or you shouldn't sports bet for the same sport that you're in or any sports. I understand that, but it's stupid. First off, that people that go to jail get a slap on the wrist, 6-game suspension, most likely. Like that's all it is. It
But
goes
if
back
he's
to Rasheed
convicted,
Rice. If he's convicted, he shouldn't be able to play in the NFL.
if he's
Ever
convicted,
again.
he won't play in the NFL again. Which
You never know.
very
I mean,
interested to see. Well, I mean, because his sentence is life in prison. So if he gets convicted for this, he's gonna face life in prison. And I mean, just I wish I could teach a class to athletes that would say, don't do anything stupid. But but athletes will
Won't
always.
go far, probably.
So so I want to put a comment up here because Christy just commented my well his Falcons career is over.
he went to
After he got out of prison, he went to the Eagles for
I think he played 2 years there.
a couple of years. He went to the Eagles for a couple of years. I don't think he ever won a Super Bowl with them. Did he?
No.
No, but he did do some great stuff there. But then again, no athlete should ever do anything that would get them in prison. So I mean, again, I wish we could teach athletes to be better people, but
it's just annoying because like if one of us had their talent on the football field, like we wouldn't be doing dumb shit.
Oh God, no! I would be one of the people that goes to practice, goes home, studies the playbook, goes to bed, and plays football because I love football.
And exactly, I don't really swear on this. I did just swear there. I normally don't swear on the show, but it's just annoying to see this every single off season. And it's always and it's never really like a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Which is great
because they're getting the most money, so they know they got to stay on the field.
They have to be the hierarchy of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of these position players who have the most talent on the field, these position players, and they're risking their team's success basically for them going to prison and not being on the field.
And whenever they do, make the mistake, it's a stupid mistake. Like I hate that I'm about to mention this, but Henry Ruggs going 165 miles an hour when he was in 45, stupid. And then fleeing the scene after literally killing somebody. I mean, granted, you still would have probably gone to prison even if you stayed at the scene, but now he can't play football again because he didn't get parole because his parole was a couple months ago, I think. But just, oh man, I wish that more people, or more athletes were more of the people that were like, okay, I love football. I'm not going to do anything to screw it up because this is my one chance to play a game of a child's game for 10 years and make mounds of money. I mean,
Yeah.
I would do that. Any kid that you ask is on like that's on a high school team or a Pee Wee league right now. If you ask them, would you go into the NFL and make a mistake, or would you just go for the love of football? Most of them would say the love of football. I think.
It's just stupid. I hate this. I hate athletes going to prison, doing stuff with the law. It pisses me off so much. I don't care what team you're on. Good thing it hasn't been with any of my teams, so that's a good thing.
Right. Yep, that's a good thing.
And we live in Chicago, so it's like there's a lot of
It
crime
could
there.
happen. It could happen.
But I mean, it's whatever. It's another NFC North player don't have to worry about. So
Yeah.
it's all right.
But going into the next topic, Brandon Aiyuk has publicly made it known that he wants to wants to join the Commanders. Now, I did just read something. He has had a lot of very interesting posts on social media lately. He does not have an agent. So it is not like the agent isn't, telling him not to do this. Now, the league does not know that he doesn't have an agent or that he fired his agent, but there was a post that someone made today that said Brandon Aiyuk fired his agent, but the league does not know that. But he wants to join the Commanders. And I have to say, I do understand in a certain sense why he wants to join the Commanders. Aiyuk would then get to play with Jane Daniels, his former quarterback at Arizona State, because they played together for a couple years.
They played in 2019. That's what it was.
Okay, and then Jane Daniels transferred to LSU 2 years after that, or something.
Yeah, there was a video. Did you that video where they were like, "This guy's garbage, anyways," and then went to Heisman? That was that video. I don't know if Brandon Aiyuk was in there. I think he was because I think that was 2020. No, Brandon Aiyuk got drafted that year. But no, but yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, first of all, Brandon Aiyuk isn't going to play another down for the 49ers, so I don't understand why they're not letting him go. I understand that he has that huge contract, but if he's not going to play it down for you, what's the point to have him on the team? Because he's not going to show up to practice. He's not going to, he's not going to come in to work out, nothing like that. So why are you basically holding him hostage? I mean, I probably used the wrong word there, but it is kind of
that's the right word.
It is kind of what they're doing. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think he obviously wants to play with Jaden Daniels. I think he's made it clear. The Commanders obviously, really still need that second guy next to Terry McLaurin. But he comes with a ton of risk. I mean, he obviously has had a ton of stuff. We talk about Arnold, and now we talk Aiyuk. Yes, because he says he wants to do it. It's all about, does the ownership want to do it? And he's obviously hasn't played in a while. The Niners are very eager to move on from him in terms of kind of what's going on with him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. What about you, Michael? What are your thoughts?
I mean, Brandon Aiyuk is such a good player when he actually plays and wants to play. I mean, I think the only reason why they are technically holding him hostage, because that is the right word, is the dead cap that his contract will give.
Actually, Kruse just commented this, and I think this is a good question. My biggest question is that can the Commanders handle his large contract? Because his contract,
no.
I want to say his contract is 4 years, $120 million, something around there. I'm gonna look that up. Contract. There we go.
4 years,
Okay,
120.
Yeah. So Brandon signed 2 major contracts with the 49ers, and then a 4-year, $120 million extension with some guarantees later voided, which is because of the fact that he isn't playing for them right now.
And his contract's through the 2028 season, so there's still 2 more years on his contract.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
My question is, what could the what could the 49ers do? Because they're a team that always seems to sign their players regardless of how much money they have in cap space. They figure it out. They're one of those teams that just always figures out the cap space and still give their core players big concessions.
Yep.
I don't know how they do that because the salary cap for the NFL is set at a certain limit, and it's not the MLB where there's no salary cap. So like I mean, you couldn't sign a guy like Myles Garrett to a $600 million deal for 10 years or for 12 years because of the salary cap. Unlike the MLB where you can sign a guy like Shohei Ohtani to a 12-year 12-year $450 to $600 million contract. Sorry that this is that kind of went to baseball, but I wanted to give a comparison. I mean, do you guys have anything else to say on this?
I mean,
No.
I think the Commanders should do it. I think they should just take the risk on Aiyuk, personally. They need
By
that
let-
other.
By
they
letting
need
him
that other
go
receiver.
or
No, the
keeping him?
Commanders should trade for him.
Okay,
That's what I think.
let me ask you a question. What would you trade for him?
5th, 4th round pick, max. And he's not going to play for the 49ers, so the 49ers just get a 4th round pick for a guy that's not going to play for them.
Well, in actuality, when you think about it, excuse me. Sorry.
Listen,
Thank you. When you think about it, with him with him not playing for the last year and a half, you can't necessarily say you can't call the 49ers and say, yeah, the Commanders, it's the Commanders here, we'll give you a 1st round draft pick for this guy, because you don't know what kind of physical condition he's in. I mean, I'm sure that he's a guy that is still practicing, but on his own time and on his own, with his own people. But like, still, you're paying for the player you're getting. And with you getting a player that hasn't played in a couple of years, this might be a player that, has lost some speed, lost some strength, might not show up to camp in good physical condition. So there are some questions. Michael, I think your price is probably what they're going to get for him if they don't release him.
Yeah,
But
I mean, if he's not going to play, might as well like try to get something, and then if you don't, then just release him, let him do his own thing. I think just get that cancer out of the organization,
out of the locker room.
Yeah.
I think what you just said is very, very spot on. I do think he is a locker room cancer. Do you think that there is a chance that he's on a different team before training camp? And that's soon. That would be in about a month.
I hope so. I think that's what he needs, and I think that's what the 49ers need to do. They need to get rid of that contract so they can pay other players.
What about you, Ben? Do you have anything to say?
In terms of this, the Aiyuk,
Yeah.
I think you should try it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of other teams that are going to be looking for him barring injury. So, this seems like to be the team.
Yeah. And before we get into our last topic, let's Ben, why don't you do the read real quick?
All right, guys. So speaking of Christy, of course, she was, of course, watching. Thank Christy.
Thank you.
In
Thanks.
terms of her show, which will be every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, the world of professional wrestling and combat sports moves by the hour, but Christy Wilson keeps you right between the ropes. Join us every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for an inside look at the Squared Circle. From executive extension and streaming shakeups to the Forbidden Door, drama across major promotions, we break down title shifts, contract news, and the fallout of every major betrayal. Whether it's the road to WrestleMania or the latest industry-shaking pay-per-view, Christy has the pulse of the industry. Only on the Intervention Network. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. Once again, that is Between the Ropes with Christy Wilson, Saturdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time.
All right. And going into our last topic, this actually pertains to me and Michael a little bit because we're Bears fans. Caleb Williams for a little while has been trying to trademark his nickname Iceman, but every time that he's tried to get that approved, it's been refused. And don't get me wrong, I love this nickname, and I will call him that. Every Bears fan will probably call him that, but he can't get the approval for him to get paid off of his nickname. So he can't like make merch. He can't make commercials. He can't get paid for the nickname that many people will use for the next 20, 25 years. I mean, I do understand why he can't, because there are a couple of people who have that nickname. There's an NBA player. I don't remember. George Gervon. He has
Gervin.
that nickname. Oh, Gervin. Also, there also seems to be like a company that has shoes that are nicknamed Iceman or something like that, which is weird.
Sure.
I did not know that until I saw a story on it a couple of days ago. I mean, personally, I don't necessarily think that Caleb is too upset with not being able to trademark it, because he hasn't like put out a post or anything like that says, "Oh, I'm pissed off that I can't, get paid for my nickname." But just because he can't get paid to make things that'll make him money doesn't mean that his teammates won't call him that his fans won't call him that. Everyone that believes in him will call him whatever nickname he wants. And I mean, I just have to say, Iceman is a badass nickname. I love it, especially because he plays in Chicago. It makes so much sense. I mean, and he had so many Iceman moments last year. I mean, the biggest one being actually in the snow against the Rams, a huge touchdown to force the wild card game into overtime, which we did ultimately lose, but he is just that magician type player that can turn any like losing score into a possible tie or a winning score. But Michael, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, he can't trademark this name. I mean, we've gone over this a little bit, and this was like a couple months ago. We went over it, I want to say, but
Yeah,
he
about
can't.
months ago.
Yeah, he can't trademark this name. It's unfortunate because I'm gonna call him Iceman. I mean, every Bears fan will, but Iceman, when you say Iceman, you think of George Gervin. He's a Hall of Famer. He's done his time. Now maybe if Caleb becomes a Hall of Famer and stuff like that, then okay, maybe you can get the Iceman trademark. But at that point, that's going to be 20, 25 years down the road if he does become a Hall of Famer, like we all think he can.
Right.
At least all the Bears fans. But you can't take a nickname from a Hall of Famer. That's the only thing. And then if there is a company that has a shoe named Iceman, then you're more screwed there because that's a
Yeah.
company.
I don't know if it was a shoe or so. It was something. I didn't read into it that much, but it was something associated with a company that has something named Iceman. That so.
But to be fair, he's not going to need to get paid from Iceman because the Bears are going to give him a hefty contract. So
Oh, they will. It's already been disclosed that the team, like, even though they won't be able to sign him for at least another year, they're already working on figuring out what they're gonna pay him. And in my personal preference, I hope it's on the cheaper end, but also like a longer type deal,
yeah,
like maybe like a
I hope it's like a Mahomes contract type of thing, like a longer deal, little less money.
because the best quarterbacks that are out there, they take less money so their team can be good during his tenure as the starter. And I mean, Patrick Mahomes did it. I don't want to say Josh Allen did it, but he signed a 6-year, $330 million contract, which I want to say is still about $55 million. But when you look at it, the initial contract that Patrick Mahomes signed, he signed a 10-year, $450 million contract. Now it was also altered a couple of weeks ago because he signed a extension that adds 2 years to that deal. That puts him in the realm of the highest paid quarterbacks. So, I mean, at least Mahomes is near the highest paid quarterback, but Patrick Mahomes is the first quarterback to have a deal that's over $500 million in total. Now his contract is, I don't remember how long, I think 12 years for $504 million, which is insane. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his contract could be. I do hope it's on the longer end and cheaper. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be Mahomes-esque, but I do hope that it is similar to that, because I don't really want us to be in a position, the Bears, where, we're paying Caleb Williams $65 to $70 million for 5 years. That takes up 25% of the salary cap for the rest of his career, because it's just you can't do that and expect to win at that point with when you're paying your quarterback like that. You got what else could we talk about? Because we've got 7 minutes left before we're supposed to get off. I don't want to end early. What?
Oh, you guys want to know something? I do have something that I do in my free time that's NFL related.
Okay.
Have you? So at first I started doing it because of basketball. It was like 82-0, trying to get a team
Yes.
that goes
Yes.
82-0.
Yeah.
I've been doing. They got one for football now,
Mm-hmm.
20-0. I've done it once. It is the most addicting game you can do. So
Hmm.
you pick. So you basically you pick 12 things. It's like
Is
so
this in
you
Madden
go.
or what is this in?
No, this is just on your phone. You look up 20-0, and they'll
Okay, I'll
take you
look
to
it
the
up.
thing, and you'll pick. I think it's 6 offensive players and then 6 defensive players.
Oh wait, I think I did this once.
It
I think
it is one of the most addicting things to do.
Hmm.
I've done it once, and I've been getting a lot of like 18-2s, a lot of 17-3s, and I want to throw my phone every time I get one of them
so,
because it's annoying because like you can't pick like people from last season except for like Stafford maybe, which is
right.
a little annoying, but
That kind of
like
sucks.
it gives you a team and then a year, and sometimes you get like Las Vegas and like the 1970s,
30.
and you're like what what am I doing here?
I don't know who I'd take at that point. Yeah.
Like that's when you hope for defense because their defense was good in that time. But like
Right.
I hate to say it, like some of the best players to get are unfortunately some of the Packers players, which
Yeah.
sucks. But Rodgers does get you to 82 or to 20-0. But no, that game is so fun. You guys got to try that. We're not sponsored by them. I just love that game.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
You guys got to give that a shot. Let me know. See you can go 20-0, and then try the basketball one too. The basketball one's very fun.
Okay. Good advice or good good suggestion there. Ben, you got anything else to say? Because we
Well,
are
not really.
shoot. Dang it. I don't want to end early, but I don't know what else we could talk about.
I mean, we could. No, do we have? I don't think we have. We might have enough time if you could screen share. No, can you screen share?
I can, yes.
We could do a 20-0 type of thing,
You want to
real
try
quick,
it?
just to bust it out. Let's try it.
All right. What the hell? Well, let me look it up first. I just put 20-0 in my search
Yeah,
bar.
Yeah.
it'll be the first thing you see.
Okay. It's a daily challenge thing?
Hmm
Or
Well, you
okay.
could do it multiple times, but yeah,
And then classic, right?
classic. Make sure you do offense and defense, and then it'll do offense first. I just thought, why not throw that out? Just
Okay,
maybe we do a little segment
find
every
here.
time we.
That's a good idea. Okay. Okay, so spin, right? San Francisco.
Are you screen sharing?
I am, I think.
It's not showing.
Oh, I have to add, sorry. Oh. Oh god. Before presenting a screen, remove other media. Oh, would I have to remove the sorry, I think I gotta remove the how do I
No, it's all right. We'll do it. We'll do it next time.
yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that next time. Sorry
We'll
guys.
do it. We'll do it next time for you guys, and then
Yeah, because we're almost at time. So
yeah,
um
we'll do it next time. We'll get 20-0.
well yeah,
I think it'll be a little segment we do.
yeah,
Hopefully,
that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
little segment we do if there's not that much to talk about, stuff like that. So then
Well, if you guys
we
do
get
that next week, you'll have to take a picture of it and show me what you guys get because I won't be here.
yeah,
But we,
we'll send a picture.
but we can always do. We could do that. We could do that as a topic for the rest of the time leading up to training camp if you guys want. I think that'd be fun. That would be fun.
because it just helps us like to get to the hour, obviously.
Yeah. Well, we are.
We did start a minute early.
We did start a minute early. That was my fault. But we are almost at time. And I don't think we have anything else to say. So I am just gonna end tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you will see you guys in a couple weeks, because I will not be here.
Me and John will be here
next week.
Next week.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.